Hi, Metabolic Living. It's Laura. I will be joined any moment by Bella, and today we are talking about back to school. While we wait for Bella to join, I just want to remind people that we will take questions. Sometimes there's just been an awful lot of questions coming in the comments. Ah, here's Bella.
There I am.
Hi.
Sorry
I was
about the
just doing
delay.
the little housekeeping bit where I was explaining how we'll take questions towards the
Yeah,
end if we can, but that we've been getting so many questions in the comments,
we
it's
have.
hard to keep up. So
Yeah,
I just wanted people aware of that. And basically, that's all I said so far, Bella.
I love it. Well, we're really excited to be chatting live with you all about back to school meals and prep and how to stay really healthy as we kind of enter this new school year. Lots of fun things, I think, to share on this topic.
Yeah, so I know one of the things that has come up a lot is both for kids and for adults,
Sure.
about like what do you take to school as like, because for people who are sending their kids with lunches,
Yeah,
snacks and things, and I know that can be a little daunting to
can.
a lot of parents.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest key here is to plan ahead. Now, I was one of those kids that grew up. My parents did do a lunchbox. My dad is a nutritionist. So he taught me from a young age, planning ahead and having, healthy kind of snacky foods on hand, but as well as some really nutritious options are great. So I think, kids especially love snacky food. So obviously, we're leaning towards that, but still looking for the nutritious stuff, and also still being conscious of those in the class with allergies. So trying to keep things nut free. I know many schools are actually nut free, so you can't take nut options. So things for me, honestly, like plantain chips are wonderful for kids. They are of course nut free, but also grain free if you're kind of focusing on a real food approach. And you can of course pair those with something yummy with, maybe guacamole or something like that is really delicious. Just for an example, protein, just as with adults, you hear us talk about it all the time, is crucial if you want your child to thrive in school and have lots of sustained energy throughout the day. So things like grass-fed jerky is wonderful, or you could pre-prep, some organic chicken breast and, do a really yummy kid-friendly rub on top, and then just have that throughout the week as well. So I think really just like with adults, focusing on high quality protein, some source of healthy fat, not nuts preferably, but things like the little guacamole packets, as I mentioned before, are wonderful there. And then, a healthy carbohydrate source. Lots of these kids need those carbs. So again, plantain chips are wonderful. Sweet potato chips also really delicious, and good for kids. What about you, Laura? I know you probably have lots of fun ideas.
Yes, because so my son is allergic to wheat and he's allergic to dairy.
Okay.
And so we have to get really creative with some of these things. Right now, it looks like luckily his school isn't going to be nut free this year, but it
Okay.
was last year. So we send him, like, he will have like plantain chips, like you said. He loves the veggies. I mean, these are kids' food, so like they aren't
Yeah.
necessarily things I necessarily would eat, but like the veggie straws.
Yep.
He loves those organic veggie straws
Love.
to death. I mean, like even just like tortilla chips or like the siete food chips, he likes that
Yeah.
brand a
One.
lot.
One.
Think of things that like also like kids like he likes to have things that he feels like he can own but doesn't require much work. So like I send him with
Yeah.
bananas,
Yeah.
apples, sliced strawberries, grapes. All kids love like all the fruits.
Absolutely.
And
Fruit is
also like
always
a
a good
hotel.
one.
I have we send it in little bento boxes.
I think that's a really good. I think one of the main things about sending in a lunchbox is choosing a great lunchbox. And I know it sounds silly, but those bento boxes are wonderful because they're not only fun, they're really easy because you can pop things in, different containers, and you can get them in, stainless steel. They're relatively affordable. And again, they're perfect for those little snacky foods, much better than
Yeah.
kind of hauling in, a huge bag with all sorts of stuff. So I love that. Bento boxes for sure.
And just test it out. So like some things, because my son is only 4.5, are hard for him to open. So like to kind of
Yeah.
have, we've practiced, and also like he hasn't started school yet. He plays with it right now, which
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but like he pretends that way he's all ready to go. He feels comfortable. He knows how to do it all.
I
And
love
so
it.
I will say some of them are difficult to open. So before you invest in a lot of those kind of little neat tricks and things, make sure your child can open and close it.
Yes, that's
Because they make a
actually,
mess if they can't.
that is such a good point. Another thing I wanted to touch on, and this is something that my parents did for me as a kid, and I really, I really appreciated it. And just to say, this doesn't have to be every day. I know this is work. And so it's not about perfection here. It's about, if you can do this once a month, I'm sure it would be really fun. But I know as a child, I really appreciated it because I was, I grew up gluten-free, dairy-free, refined sugar-free. That's just the way my family was. My mum would, take the time once a week to make things like, paleo sugar-free brownies. And it made me as a kid feel like, oh gosh, look, here's my naughty food as well. Here's my yummy brownie when people are eating cosmic brownie or whatever it is. But I think, if you have a moment, maybe it's on a Sunday, if that's your meal prep day, and you can just dedicate 1 hour to prepping some of these things ahead, making some blueberry muffins that are compliant and healthful for your child. It goes a long way, and you can make a batch and then pop one of those in each day or every other day. You can freeze things and pull things out of the freezer. But, I don't know yet about the busyness of mum life, but I'm sure that it is busy. And, really just taking any moment, if you have an hour, thinking, okay, what can I prep for this week? And especially if it's a yummy baked good, I know.
I also just want to give everyone permission to know, like, it's okay if you don't bake. So, like,
Totally.
we get the partake cookies, and, like, I have a stash of those. Yep. I have a stash of the Cat's gluten-free donuts that I'm going to take some to his school because my son, again, has allergies. And some of those things I'm going to take there and leave there. So, like, if they have a birthday or something spontaneous, he has something that is safe for him. So even if your kid doesn't have allergies, you can do that, too, and just find a little bit healthier versions and give yourself the, like, knowledge. It's okay that I did it this week. But when you do make something, like, make more than you feel like you should and freeze it. And then you go, yeah, I rock it. Give some hats back.
That is so true. And Laura, you raised a great point about sending stuff in, and letting the teachers keep that. When I used to work with kids, I think that is a really helpful thing. First of all, just informing your teacher. Maybe your kid has allergies, obviously, that the teacher needs to be aware of. But maybe you're just really striving and committing this year to feeding your child real whole foods. And that's just something you really want to do. Don't be afraid to go in and talk to your teacher and say, hey, this is something that's really important to my family. I would love it if there's a snack time or a birthday, my child could have these, enjoy life cookies or whatever it is instead, so that he or she can feel a part, of the celebration and the community, and get their treat, but still, honor as a parent or as a family your lifestyle choices.
Yeah, I found that teachers are really awesome to talk to about it. I mean, I've had some very serious conversations because my kid does have allergies, but like there's he's not the only one. There's people of all different backgrounds. You have vegetarians and you have vegans and all sorts of different, kosher, etc. So they're very used to understanding. And I think that what you touched on too is the biggest thing is just making sure your child feels included and feels safe and happy, and making sure they're fed. So I think we can transition a little bit too, because I know from some things I've observed in my brief parenting experience is that lots of kids sometimes don't eat breakfast well, and also the parents don't. So maybe you could talk a little bit about good options for both kids and parents so that they don't have that scramble to the school bus or scramble to the car without eating properly.
Totally. And it is so important, especially if you're sending your kids off and they have busy days, maybe they even have sports or band, whatever it is, it really is try and prioritize, if possible, breakfast. I think, again, I don't know firsthand the busy, but I remember when I was a child and it would be busy and frantic in the morning. There were 3 of us, so it's let's get everyone out the door. But we actually touched on this the other day, but prepping in advance is going to be key for you. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming or challenging. Even a nutrient-dense smoothie is a great option with protein powder. And again, really, really easy. You can pack ahead using, freezer bags even. And just, it literally will take you 5 minutes. Say, okay, here's 7 freezer bags or 5 freezer bags for the week for my family. And in each one, I'm going to make sure it's really balanced. So I'm going to put some, avocado or chia seeds or whatever it is for the healthy fats. I'm going to put the protein, and I'm going to put some, berries or some spinach or something like that to kind of bulk it up. And then in the morning, you just pop that in your blender with some almond milk. And honestly, as long as you're making sure, and I just need to preface this because there's difference between, shakes with not a lot of stuff in there, and then big smoothies that really are going to sustain your kids. But that's a really great and quick and easy way. Things like pre-prepping egg muffins. I know we have those on our YouTube. Again, really, really simple. You can
Even just hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs, really great. Things like frittatas are perfect because you can whip those together. They can feed the whole family. It's about 12 servings in one of those. Again, probably 5 to 10 minutes, you know, hands-on time, and then it's done for the week. So I think if you're someone...
Oh no, everyone on YouTube, Instagram, it looks like Bella has cut out. Bella, you're back. Yay!
So sorry, did you guys...
You cut off for 1 second, so I think your internet might be a little unstable. So what we'll do is just finish that thought, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
And then if you have more questions, what we'll do is you can just leave a comment or send us a message, and we'll do like a little follow-up later in the week if we need to, just to make sure we've covered everything. Okay, guys?
Perfect.
Cool. Sorry, yeah, the summertime internet, things just happen. It's one of those days. I think Instagram Live's being a little cranky anyway.
Yes, a little cranky. Anyway, all I was really prefacing and saying there is that, you know, if you know you're going to have a busy week, prepping really is highly valuable and just will save you a ton of time and really is a great insurance policy because you already have it prepared. You got to eat it.
Yes.
So again, if you need any, you know, ideas or suggestions, please reach out to us. We have stuff on our blog. We have stuff, you know, on YouTube. If you are a Metabolic Mastery Club member, there is so much there in the library. But you know, reach out to us if there's something that you think would be great and need a little bit of assistance on. We would love to help.
Yeah, if you have a question on a brand, or like I know like a lot of people are confused by deli meats or all sorts of things, you can just send us a question, or if you have MMC, just pop it in there and we'll help you right away.
Absolutely.
And just everyone just breathe. You got this.
Yeah.
Back to school can be stressful. I know I'm a little nervous. My son's just excited, but I'm nervous. It's okay. We'll get through this. It'll be fun. It'll be fine. And just thank you for joining us. Anything else to add, Bella?
I think that's perfect.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.